Alright, now it's time to go to the inn. I think I've done all I could out here. Return to the inn for dinner. Everything's all locked up for tonight.
Ah, that was delicious. Those were some seriously fresh vegetables too.
Yeah, nothing beats food made from local ingredients.
I quite enjoyed the rye bread myself.
I suppose this whole field study thing isn't so bad when you take the menu into account. I wonder what the others in Group B are doing right now.
Huh. Apparently they're not doing too well.
Somehow I doubt they're sitting around a table and talking like we are.
That would certainly be a shock if they were.
If only we could actually see what's going on the other side.
But question what exactly Class 7's purpose is, though.
Maybe they're also fighting their own series of bosses.
Instructor Sarah says it's about ARCUS, but I don't think that's the only reason we've been brought together.
I'm certain it's not. If that were all, today's field study tasks would serve little purpose.
Maybe she wants us to mediate between all these differing factions or something.
It seems as though she's trying to make us experience, I don't know, things. Like all kinds of things, big and small. What I can't wrap my head around though is why.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to put everything in its place, why don't you just go with the flow for a change? It seems like you're desperately trying to find something. But if you don't plant yourself somewhere, you're just gonna blow away with the next big gust that comes along.
What do we have to offer one another, when our reasons for enrolling in Thors in the first place are undoubtedly very different?
Our reasons?
I hadn't considered that.
My reason for enrolling was quite simple. I aim to come ever closer to my goal. Or, rather, to the person whom I regard as such.
Who's that?
This is neither the time nor the place to discuss such matters. Best to save that topic for another day. What about you, Alisa? Why did you enroll at the academy?
There's no one single reason, but I think I just wanted to assert my independence. I mean, my situation back at home isn't exactly ideal, and this seemed like a good way to get out and do more, I guess.
Maybe that's why she's hiding her last name.
I see.
It sounds like I'm probably in the minority then. See, I wasn't intending on coming here at all originally. I wanted to do something completely different.
You did?
Oh yeah, you said you were really hoping you'd get into a music academy, right?
Oh?
Well, I wasn't that serious about it or anything.
Wait, did this conversation happen even if you didn't do Elliot's bonding event?
What about you, Reen? You're the last holdout, and since you're the one who brought it up, it's only fair you answer the question too.
Me? I wanted to find myself, I guess.
Find yourself?
Huh?
Sorry. That makes it sound like a much bigger deal than it actually is. That's the best way I can think of to put it, though.
Nothing wrong with that. Going on a journey of self-discovery? It's actually a pretty cool answer.
Yeah, I had no idea you were such a romanticist. You sure don't come across as one.
I shouldn't have said anything.
So you want me to wake you up at 6 tomorrow, right? Yes, please. We only have until tomorrow evening, so we need to get an early start. We really appreciate it. Not a problem at all. Have a good night. Good night.
But we're not actually going to sleep yet, are we? Not until we write our reports for the day.
I want to shut off my brain so badly right now, but it doesn't look like that's happening anytime soon.
Hopefully this doesn't actually become part of the gameplay, writing the report.
She seems to have forgotten all about the room situation. And I'm not about to remind her.
Reed,
What is it?
I was unsure whether to ask or not, but I've decided that this question bears answering. Why have you chosen to hold back?
What?
Huh? You mean you actually
Your
have
sword
an...
style and technique.
You mean he actually has an S-craft, but he's not using it for some reason?
It is the 8 Leaves, 1 Blade school, is it not?
The one Richard and Alisa used.
Popularized by the sword hermit, Yun Kafai, it combines the best elements of other Eastern sword styles. Those who master any of its forms are referred to as a divine blade, and are said to understand the true nature of all things.
You certainly know an awful lot about it. I didn't think it was particularly renowned here in the Empire.
We of the ARCUS school consider the studying of other swordsmanship styles to be an essential part of our training. In addition, my father once told me, if you follow the path of the sword, it is only a matter of time before you encounter a follower of the 8 Leaves.
Your father said that? It's an honor to be acknowledged by the Radiant Blade Master himself.
Even if it was accidental.
I'm nothing special, though. I'm just a dropout who's never even been able to progress past beginner level. I did train under Master Ka-Fi for a while, but I started to feel like I couldn't go any further with my abilities, and he cut my training short.
What?
So I'm really not holding back. Honest. I actually kind of feel like I'm dirtying the good name of the 8 Leaf School, in fact. But this is my limit. I'm sorry I can't quite live up to your expectations.
What about all those cool crafts you showed off at the prologue?
Laura?
You have no reason to apologize to me. This is a matter you must come to terms with on your own. Though I'll admit to some disappointment, I was hoping you'd prove to be a good sparring partner. I'm going to practice outside for a bit. Please go and finish your report with Alisa and Elliot.
There's a lot he doesn't want to talk about, huh? I can see in his eyes sometimes that he's bottling something up and trying really hard to keep anyone else from noticing.
You've noticed it too? You sure have taken quite an interest in him.
I was just trying to work out the best time to apologize, that's all. It's not like I've been consciously paying attention to him or anything, honestly.
Just screenshot that.
Reen's not the only one bottling up his feelings, though, is he? You've been doing the same thing.
Yeah, I guess I have.
Alright, that's the most I can get for now. I need 4 more AP to get rank B5. See, is that good so far? That's strange, it's only showing the ones for... that I just did now.
Just run me someday.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I got all of them though. I hope. Here are your tasks for today. The market manager left them with me. Thank you. Field study envelope, April. Field study day 2, assigned tasks. Another large ferocious monster, this time on the west highway. Zwordar. They don't give me any hints about things like status effects or elemental weaknesses though. Lost wallet. Yesterday I found a wallet on the floor in front of my stall. Would someone be willing to find its owner for me? See me at my ceramic stall and I'll tell you more. Both of these are optional though. Huh, even fewer than yesterday. Maybe he gave us less work to do because he knew we were going back to Trista today? Sounds about right, he is a very considerate man. But we're gonna do them all anyway. The last train headed your way leaves here around 9 tonight. You get those done quickly enough and you can have dinner here before you leave. Huh, thank you very much. We greatly appreciate your kindness. Shall we get started then? Sounds good. Looks like today's tests are all optional. Hey Laura, I wanted to apologize for what I said to you yesterday evening. Reen? As I told you then, this is a matter you must come to terms with on your own. It is not something for which an apology is required. That's not really what I mean. I wanted to apologize for making light of the way of the sword. What I said before about being a dropout who's never been able to progress past beginner level was disrespectful. To Master Kafai, to the school I follow, and to the path of the sword itself. And for those reasons, I feel it was inappropriate of me to say what I said, so I'm sorry. If that's the case, there is one other person you should be apologizing to as well. Huh? I can't pretend to know much about your personal circumstances. But regardless of one's background or social standing, one should always be able to live with pride in him or herself. Thus, if you truly did make light of yourself and your own abilities, that is an act of shame for which you owe yourself recompense. Let me ask you a question, Reen. Do you like the path of the sword? It's not really a matter of liking it or disliking it, I don't think. It's a part of my life, an inseparable part of who I am. That's all I wanted to hear. I feel exactly the same way. Laura. Sorry. So you two are friends again then? Huh? Were we not? There was never any rift between us that I knew about. Indeed, this was all handled rather neatly, I felt. At least it didn't take a whole month. So you're both so simple-minded. I feel like an idiot spending so much time trying to devise a plan to get the two of you to make up. Whoa, you did what now? It would seem we've caused you undue concern. Geez, can we all forget about this and move on? Looks like the ground's dried after the rainfall, so to speak. Glad to see you all looking a little less gloomy. Margo, we've got trouble! Big, big trouble! Oh no! What now? Slow down, Louise. It's first thing in the morning and you're about poised to wake up the dead. You're making such a commotion. Where have you been anyway? You're late. I'm sorry, I just got caught up on the way here. But never mind that, we have big, big trouble. Something terrible happened over at the market. Nut! Something terrible, you say? Huh? Don't tell me those two have gone to war again. Those two merchants? What terrible thing has happened exactly? Well, it sounds like it actually took place last night. Two of the stalls over the market were destroyed and all their merchandise was stolen. This is most terrible indeed. A robbery? Oh my. I suppose that means the market might be opening late tonight. Which means we could end up with more customers as people wait here for a resolution. Luis, let's get this place ready. You got it. As for you four, this is our problem, not yours. You just focus on your field study and leave this incident to us locals. You have your own tasks to worry about after all. Of course. We'll be back later. Thanks again. What should we do? I have to admit, I'm curious. It's not far, so we might as well just go take a look. Alright, let's take a slight detour and see what's happening at the market then. Okay, what's happening in the market? I'm sorry, the Grand Market isn't quite open for business yet. Oh, it's the students from yesterday. Good morning. Opening late today after all, I see. I'm afraid so. Guess you already know about the robbery yesterday, huh? The two merchants whose stalls were destroyed are still arguing about it. You bastard! You're not going to get away with this. Oh no, not them. The manager came to try to break them up, but he doesn't seem to be having much luck. I hope no one ends up getting hurt. What should we do, Reed? Or maybe we could try talking to them. Considering everything that happened yesterday, you just might be the cavalry we need right now. Would you mind? Not at all. Let's go. How dare you destroy my stall, you damn coward! I knew you country folk weren't to be trusted. Who else could have been? Just come clean and admit it already. Who are you calling a coward, you Heimdallian snob? You're the one who wanted my spot all for yourself. Calm down, gentlemen, please. Playing all innocent and trying to paint me as the bad guy here. You make me sick. What do you say we sell this right here and now? Bring it on. Hold it. Class 7? You kids again? Keep your noses out of this. I'm gonna make him pay for smashing my stall. Smashing? Whoa. Wow, they really are completely ruined. This is awful. However, harming one another is not going to bring them back. In the end, they will still be smashed and you will be worse off. But this anger isn't going to go away unless I do something. He took all my goods too, so I haven't even got anything to sell. What are you talking about? You were the one who stole my goods. You're going to give them all back right now and fix the damage you did to my stall. Or else I can't be held responsible for my actions. This isn't good. I don't think they're even listening to a word we're saying. What do we do? Stop this at once! The provincial army. What? What is the meaning of this? It's the middle of the morning. Stop this nonsense immediately. But I believe you are the one in charge here? I demand an explanation as to what has transpired. Well, you see, the market manager explained to the provincial army officer what had happened the previous night. I see. The solution is simple then. Men, take them away. Yes, sir. What? What do you mean, take us away? 2 stalls were destroyed, 2 sets of goods were stolen. The truth is as clear as day. 2 merchants in the midst of a heated disagreement committed the same crime at the same time. That makes no sense. That's not fair, Do you not think it premature to draw such a conclusion without any investigation? The provincial army doesn't have time to waste solving the petty squabbles of merchants. But I'm not an unreasonable man. Cease your dispute and you'll be left alone. Continue and you come with us. The choice is yours. They're trying to force both merchants to forget this ever happened and sweep the whole ordeal under the rug. Yeah, something about this seems really wrong. Ugh. Gah. Very good then. I'm sure you can agree that wasting time on shenanigans like this is detrimental to all parties involved. I hope you'll all think twice before causing such a ruckus ever again. Now if you'll please excuse us, I'm a busy man and I have more pressing matters to attend to. Don't tell me the provincial army's behind it. There they go. I guess they did stop those two from fighting, but they did nothing to solve the underlying problem. This isn't right. I see now the provincial army here, how the provincial army here conducts itself. I'm sure you're both still pretty angry about this, but right now the two of you need to focus on keeping cool-headed. If you have the time to fight, try to use that time for something more productive instead. You'll feel a lot better. Yeah. I shouldn't have let my anger take control of me like that. I can't open the Grand Market for business until we've cleaned up these busted stalls. And we're already running late, so I hate to ask, but would you all mind lending me a hand? Market Manager Otto, with the assistance from the merchants of the market, cleared away the remains of the two stalls. And with the help of Reed and the others on top of that, the Grand Market was finally able to open for the day, albeit behind schedule. Thanks to you four, we were able to open the Grand Market for business today a bit quicker than I expected. I can't even begin to tell you how grateful I am. Oh, there's no need for that. We barely did anything. I'm just glad no one got hurt. All the more reason to thank you. A merchant stall is his livelihood. Any action taken against it can throw him into blind rage, and it's hard to bring someone back from that. It would seem the problems facing the merchants in this town are quite grave indeed. The provincial army may have intervened, but it's difficult to believe they'd make no attempts to find an amicable solution. Quite right, it's clearer than ever now that they have no intention of trying to resolve any issues involving the market. And I can't see that changing unless we decide to just accept the sales tax increase and keep quiet about it. Still, you think they'd be at least a little more subtle about the whole thing. There's no way those two merchants are just going to accept this and move on. No, I don't suppose they will. And if word gets out about this, it's not inconceivable for certain groups of people to begin boycotting the marketplace. Something definitely has to be done. I'm just not sure what. Is something wrong, Ring? You're awfully quiet. Are you feeling unwell? Sir, I have a favor to ask. Will you consider allowing us to investigate this morning's incident? What? Are you suggesting that we attempt to find a perpetrator who destroyed the merchant stalls ourselves? It's a kind offer, but as I said yesterday, this is our affair, not yours. You're students, you have your own studies to worry about, and I wouldn't feel right interfering with them. We're students training for the military, though. We can't just stand by and allow something so unjust to go unchallenged. It's the provincial army's responsibility to address this, sure, but they're shirking on their duties here, and that reflects poorly on us all. Well, that's true enough, I guess. But do you really think we're up for something like this? I kind of have to wonder about that too. I mean, at the end of the day, we're just amateurs. We should at least check with Instructor Sarah first and see what she thinks. Isn't she already with the other group? She's already told us. Put your heads together and think. I'm sure you'll see what you need to do. Her words. This seems exactly like the sort of thing she meant. At least it does to me. Oh. I see your point. Perhaps matters such as this may fall under the scope of our field study after all. Yeah, you do make a good case. I'm still not sure we're up to it, but I guess it can't hurt to try. Neither seek nor shun the fight. Very well, we shall do what we can. Are you really sure about this? I'm certainly not going to say no. I'm very concerned about the market and the safety of our merchants. So, if you're 100% sure, I have to admit, I truly would appreciate anything you can do for us. Thank you, sir. We'll do everything in our power to find answers for you. Just be careful. Don't go seeking out trouble. I don't want you kids being put in danger. We're dealing with a criminal who acts under the cover of night. He may be capable of a lot more than just thievery and vandalism. Remember, I'm responsible for your safety. If anything were to happen to you, I couldn't even look Van Dyck in the eye anymore. We'll be careful. We promise. I know I will, at least. I probably need to be more careful than anyone else here. Now that's all, we should act quickly. Yeah, let's get this investigation started. So first things first, we need to decide where to start investigating. The logical starting point would be the Grand Market itself, the scene of the crime. Can't argue with that. We should probably get some statements from those two merchants before anything else. Indeed, I anticipate they've calmed themselves by now, so perhaps we can get something a bit more substantial from them. We still have to ascertain their innocence or guilt in the matter as well. We'll need to keep a close eye on the time, though. If we miss the last train towards Heimdall, we'll have no way of getting back to the academy today. Plus, we've been given other tasks too, and I'd really like to get them done. In short, we need to keep moving. Our deadline is 9 PM. Let's use every minute we have to accomplish everything we possibly can. Wait, is there a time limit to actually do everything? Oh, shoot. Right. I don't see one. Alright, talk to Merchant Heinz. And to think, I was ecstatic to finally participate in the famous Celdic Grand Market. So what did I ever do to deserve this? Excuse me. You. I'm sorry you had to see me acting like that. I hope you can forgive me for my inappropriate behavior. He seems really down. It's quite understandable. He's a merchant in a busy market, unable to do business. So what brings you here? Did you need something from me? Well, actually... Rena explained that he and his classmates were investigating the truth behind what had happened the previous night. You're investigating? That's right, and we'd really appreciate it if you could answer a few questions for us. You may be able to help us find the true culprit. I suppose it can't hurt. It's better than doing nothing, at least. You don't have to sound so pessimistic. Well, can you blame me? You're students at the military academy. You're not exactly ace detectives. Like the protagonists of a different series. That is true, but we're still determined to find out who did this. We may even be able to recover your goods. Cooperating with us could prove quite fruitful. Okay, fine. I never said I wouldn't help you, did I? I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say, though. It's not like I saw anything worth mentioning. You didn't? As soon as I made sure my soul was ready to open up the next morning, I left everything set up and went home. The other merchants around here can vouch for that. Guess I shouldn't have left the stall unattended, though. By the time I got in, it was too late. The deed had been done. So by morning, the stall had already been destroyed and your goods stolen? Come to think of it, what goods were stolen exactly? Oh, I have a sample with me, actually. An accessory? Is this a brand that's popular in the capital? Been a real hit lately, yeah. I was hoping to bring the fad here by selling them at the market. This is the only one I have left now. Sigh. I try to think just how much money I lost in one single night. That damned coward sabotaging my business. It's too early to be jumping to conclusions. Do you have any evidence that proves his culpability? No, but he's clearly the prime suspect. He was so against the idea of taking turns sharing this spot with me, he decided he'd destroy my stall altogether. I just know it. I'm going to get him to give me my goods back, no matter what it takes. Please try to stay calm. You do know if you cause any more trouble, the provincial army really will arrest you, right? Yeah, I know, but it's a matter of justice. I can't just act like nothing ever happened. It's wrong, on general principle. I'm begging you, please get my goods back, wherever it takes. Well, I can't promise success. I swear to you, we'll do everything we can. That much I can promise. I think that's everything this merchant knows. Let's try questioning the other one. So, what the hell am I supposed to do now? Excuse me, I'm sorry to bother you, but could we have a moment of your time? You're those kids from that military academy, right? What do you want from me? I've got nothing to sell you, obviously. And even if I did have something to sell, I have no place to sell it. I'm basically ruined. The top of the left, the provincial army and that other damn merchant are acting like I'm the one who did it. He's not taking this very well, is he? Hard to blame him, but we need to see if he knows anything that might help us. Well, you see, Rena explained that he and his classmates were investigating the truth behind what had happened the previous night. You're investigating this mess, huh? Okay. So would you consider cooperating with us? Sure, why not? Not getting my hopes up, as I'm sure you can understand, but hell, I've got nothing left to lose. Not exactly a vote of confidence. Hey, he's willing to cooperate. I say we cut some slack and hear him out. So about last night, at the time the incident actually happened. Last night, huh? I don't know how much help I can be if that's what you're asking about here. See, I left the market right after arguing with that merchant yesterday, and I didn't come back till this morning. I stayed over at a friend's place, another merchant, got pissed drunk and ran at him all night. And you're certain of this? Positive. Ask my friend if you don't believe me. He'll back me up. So both have an alibi. I wandered over here with an awful hangover this morning, and what I found gave me a hell of a start. My whole stall in shambles. As if that weren't bad enough, all the processed foods I was going to sell were just gone, without a trace. So the goods that were stolen were all processed goods? That's right, nuts, cheese, bacon, all foods that have a long shelf life, made with local ingredients. Seeing all my stuff gone really sobered me up. It was like I hadn't been drinking at all. And that's when I went over to that fool's stall to make him pay for it. Why did you go straight to him? Because he was the one who did it, of course. He smashed my stall so he could have that spot all to himself. But that doesn't make any sense. If Heinz did it, then why was his stall destroyed too? He must have done that to himself. Probably figured if he destroyed his own stall, no one would believe he could be responsible. I don't know. This seems pretty unlikely. It's a bit excessive. He'd lose so much profit from that. While I understand your frustration, baseless accusations do no one any favors and only cloud the true issue. Ugh. But it's so frustrating. I've lost so much money because of this. I might have to shut up shop for good. That is bad. If I could at least get my goods back, maybe I could salvage enough to stay afloat. But what are the odds of that? None of the other merchants saw anybody do anything, and the provincial army sure ain't about to help. I'm finished, pure and simple. All the hard work I've put into getting this far, and this is how the dream ends for me. Well, I'll be honest, I'm not sure how much we will actually be able to do for you. But we'll do everything in our power to help you find some form of closure. So cheer up, okay? I do appreciate that, but again, I ain't about to get my hopes up. Good luck, though. That's all the two victims of this crime have to say, it seems. What does everybody think? I can't be sure, but I really don't think either of them is responsible. Both merchants certainly have adequate motive to damage the other's stall, but not their own. Chance of both committing the same crime on the same night without crossing paths is virtually nil. It's not impossible that they were just out to steal each other's merchandise. But I don't believe that's what happened. Where'd they even put all that? Both of them have alibis confirming that they were somewhere else when the crime took place. I'm inclined to agree. I just can't see either of these merchants being responsible for what happened. So we're going to have to look elsewhere to find viable suspects. Where though? I mean, who could it possibly have been? It's impossible to say right now. We don't have any solid leads. We know who the culprit wasn't, but how are we supposed to start narrowing it down to who it was? The market itself seems unlikely to produce any further clues, so we should focus our attention elsewhere. Actually, there is one thing that's been bugging me. There's one group of people involved in this whole situation whose actions don't seem to make any sense. Maybe if we can work out the reasoning behind their strange behavior, we can come one step closer to finding our culprit. Whom do you mean? I'm not talking about the provincial army. They should be breaking this stuff up and handling it better. Giving them a thing to try to solve the crime despite it happening right under their noses. And that begs the question, why not? The market manager said they're refusing to fulfill their role due to the tax issue. Which means the provincial army should refuse to intervene in the quarrels within the market as well. If that's the case, why did they come and intervene this morning? Now you mention it, that really doesn't make any sense. Their methods are atrocious, but the fact is, they brought that dispute to an end almost instantly. They did get involved. Yeah, one minute they're refusing to do anything, and the next they're taking a stand. It's definitely suspicious. My point exactly. There's definitely something unnatural about the way they're conducting themselves. And since we have no other leads, what do you say we go to the army's guardhouse and take a look around? We may be able to learn something from them that could aid us in our investigation. That may be worth an attempt. The guardhouse isn't too far from here either. Let's head on over and see what we can find out. AP increased by 1. Are you those students from that military academy, was it? What are you doing here? We're terribly sorry to trouble you, but we were hoping you might be able to help us with something. Could we ask a few questions about the incident that occurred at the Grand Market this morning? What? What does that have to do with you? Extra credit. That's what we're aiming for. We're visiting this town on a field study known as students of Thors Military Academy. And we would very much appreciate the chance to see how experienced soldiers such as yourselves handle difficult situations every day. It seems like a perfect opportunity for an anecdotal case study, and could prove most invaluable to our education, if you'd permit it. So, alright, stay here. I'll see what I can do. They know too much, and then he just tries to headbutt me with the pointy end of his helmet and kills me in one hit. Yes, that'll happen. Especially on Nightmare mode. It looks like that we might be able to hear what they have to say for themselves after all. Nicely done, Laura. In times like these, we need to make good use of our positions. No one can fault a student for wanting to learn after all. But now comes the hard part. This makes me nervous. Well, let's just wait and see what we can get out of them. Remember, it's not always what they say that matters, but how they say it. And more importantly, what they don't say. Right. I hope you appreciate us taking time out of our busy schedules for this. So what do you want? And make it quick. I'm a busy man, you know. He's not even trying to keep up appearances. Unbelievable. I'll be brief then. We came to discuss the incident at the market this morning. Would we be correct in assuming that the provincial army will be conducting no further investigation? Is that all you came here to ask? Is that all? Should the armed forces charged with maintaining peace in this region not be taking this matter more seriously? Laura, I'm not sure. You got a big mouth for someone your age. And it seems you have a lot to learn about how military units actually work. What do you mean? Let me ask you this. What should the #1 priority of the provincial army be in order to maintain the status quo? I'll tell you. Their #1 priority should be to enforce the will of the region's ruling lord, Duke Alberea. As members of the provincial army, the will of nobility is absolute. We're just following our orders, protecting what we have a duty to protect. I assume you're referring to the local petition against the sales tax increase? So you're saying as long as the petition isn't withdrawn, the grand market isn't something you have a duty to protect? Interpret my words however you want. We're soldiers, we follow our orders, that's how the military works. And we don't need some fresh military academy inductees telling us how to do our jobs. This is nuts. Does he even have a tiny shred of shame? I was hoping we'd be able to get something out of him, but it sure doesn't seem too likely anymore. So, is that it then? I hope this has been enlightening. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a job to do. Elliot, wait! Would you mind answering just one more question? Elliot? Fine, ask it. Well, do you have an idea what might have happened to the goods Marco was handling? You know, the accessory merchant. All he had left was that one sample. What are you talking about? The merchant from the capital, Heinz, was the one who was planning on selling accessories. What? What did you just say? What are you all looking at me like that for? How do you know that? I was under the impression you hadn't investigated the matter at all. How peculiar. We only discovered what each of the merchants was intending to sell a short while ago ourselves. In other words, you bluffed them into revealing that they know more about this than they let on. Sir! We have our own ways of finding these things out. You do well not to underestimate us. Now, we've wasted enough time answering your questions. We're leaving. That was a pretty smooth move, Elliot. Do you think... The fact that they know what each of the merchants was selling means they did investigate the matter after all. But the burglary happened last night and it was only first discovered this morning. Realistically, I don't think there was any opportunity during that time for them to do any digging, not without running into us. Agreed. I suspect they knew what each merchant was planning to sell well in advance of yesterday's incident. That would be easy information for them to learn, since Duke Alberea must have issued permits for both stalls. That's true, and the army would have no trouble getting access to transaction records for something like that. But why would they bother? Maybe they needed to know so they could prepare. Prepare for what? I get the impression the incident at the market has been carefully planned out for a while now. I don't think those two merchants being given permits for the same spot was a coincidence either. They're trying to agitate the market. It was probably done to get them to start fighting so they could get robbed while there was tension between them. Basically, to create a situation that couldn't be brought under control without the army's help. So the two merchants were being used all along. Now it seems to fit perfectly with what happened this morning. Meanwhile, the provincial army has shown no interest in actively working toward a solution. Unless the market manager chooses to withdraw his petition. So they waited for things to get out of hand, then showed up to force both parties into an uncomfortable truce. Eventually the merchants would get worn down that they feel like they have no choice but to withdraw the petition. This is turning out to be an even shadier situation than I thought. Yeah, but thanks to Elliot, I do believe we finally uncovered the truth of the matter. That was indeed some very quick thinking on you displayed, Elliot. You'd make a fine military strategist. I just got lucky, that's all. So what we know is the provincial army is somehow involved with the actual perpetrators of this crime. The only way to solve it once and for all, though, seems to be, well, to find them and catch them. But if this was carried out by members of the provincial army, that's not going to be an easy task. No, I don't think anyone from the army was directly involved. The soldiers here are far too proud to dirty their hands with such escapides. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I tend to agree. Really, whoever the culprits are, I doubt they're still here in Celdic. just aren't many viable places to hide such a large volume of goods without them being found. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe they escaped by train? No, that can't be. Boarding a train with that much merchandise would raise suspicion for sure. It's been less than a day since the burglary happened, so they can't have gotten far. Maybe we should ask around the main roads and see if anyone saw anything out of the ordinary. Someone suspicious may have been spotted leaving or even entering the town. That sounds like a wise course of action. Come, let's resume our search. We mustn't let this cowardly thief run free. I wouldn't dream of it. No, Cal, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to this girl. Hiss. Lulu, are you okay? Look at what that nasty man did to her. Is something the matter? I was just chasing after Lulu near the west exit of town, and there was this weird man asleep along the side of the street. A weird man? To sleep in the midst of a bustling town like this, oblivious to strangers, suggests he must possess formidable skill. Or he was just really drunk. The nasty smell coming off of him nearly made little Lulu faint. That's terrible. It really was. I don't know who he is, but I'll have to keep an eye on Lulu to make sure she keeps her distance from him. So he's not from this town then? I'm not sure. I only started seeing him around a few days ago. I'd never seen him before that. Really now, that sounds like a lead if I've ever heard of one. If he's drinking in the middle of the day and isn't Instructor Sarah, then we know he's not a merchant, at the very least. Yeah, I think we should go talk to him. Let's have a look near the west exit and see if we can track him down. Hick, drink. Bring me another drink. P.U. This guy reeks. How much has he put down? It's only midday and he's already completely blitzed. I don't think this is the man we're looking for. I think he'd have trouble pulling off a robbery. Sir, are you alright? We can help you back home if you'd like. Sure up. Leave me alone. I'm just here for nothing. I was good for nothing who just lost his job. Looking after that nature park was my whole life. Nature park? I wonder if he's talking about the Lunaria nature park we saw yesterday. Oh, you kids know it? You see, I used to be the park ranger for that old place, hick. And then you lost your job? Yeah, out of nowhere too. I gave my life to that job and I did, and then he just came and took it all from me. The damn official just showed up out of nowhere and told me I was sacked. You just can't take a man's livelihood off him like that. It's not fair. The job was my life. My life. Yes, we can see that. Seeing something about this doesn't sound right. I agree. It seems hardly seems fair to take a man's job away from him without good reason. Right? I'm so glad someone understands how I feel. There's no way a bunch of kids like that are gonna do a better job than me. Kids? I was drinking here last night too, see? A bunch of kids in ranger uniforms went walking out of town through the west exit. Weird thing was, they were carrying a bunch of wooden boxes too, in the middle of the night. Kids these days, I tell ya. You don't think they could have been? Nature park, I wouldn't even have considered it. But given its size, it would no doubt be a perfect hiding spot. Yeah, they'd have no trouble stashing the merchandise there undetected. The men standing at the entrance yesterday were probably there as lookouts. And if a provincial official was the one to tell him he was fired, that's practically a smoking gun. Huh? I say something useful or something? Don't know what I said, but if I helped you out, why not buy me a drink? You had too much already. We'll give you a drink of water, and that's about it. I suggest you start trying to sober yourself up instead. There's a good chance we may be able to recover both your park and your job. What? That's quite a big promise. We know our next stop. As soon as we're fully repaired, let's head out to the Lunaria Nature Park. Right. Those damn youngsters, they don't know what real work is. Heh, the ruler of the forest could have got one right up. That sounds ominous. It leaves sniffing the forest and it's real scary. I wasn't careful not to anger it. Well, you'll only find it if you're a professional like me. Oh, it sounds like quite a ferocious monster. Oh, Ideos, please don't let us come across it. Why haven't you guys taken care of this one yourselves? Okay, next is a quest. I have to talk to one of the merchants. Excuse me, would you happen to be Lizzie? That's correct. Does that make you the students from Forest who the market manager said would be coming then? Yup, that's us. We came to see you about the request you sent in. Can you explain the situation to us in full? Of course, I happened to come across someone's wallet by my store yesterday. You see, I kept it with me in the hopes that they would come to pick it up, but no one's come to claim it. As such, I'd like to ask you for your help in delivering it back to its owner. Will you be able to do that for me? Accept. We'd be happy to help. Thank you. Here's the wallet that I found then. We'll be sure to take good care of it. I assume that you've already inspected the contents? I did indeed. Unfortunately, there wasn't anything inside that could help to identify the owner. What exactly was inside it anyway? Well, naturally there was Mira in it. Like, a lot of Mira. This isn't just chump change we're talking about. The only other thing was a train ticket to Heimdall that's scheduled for tonight. So this justifies the time limit, for sure. Sounds like the owner is a fairly well-off traveler then. There's not much we can do with that as our only lead, though. I believe this train ticket is potentially our best lead. Yeah, but what should we do with it? Should we go and ask that at the station? Yeah, considering it's for a train at least tonight, I imagine the owner is frantically searching for it. Which means they might have already been to the station themselves to ask about it. Let's head over to the station then. Sorry for the trouble, but I'm counting on you for this. Lost wallet. Alright. Station is that way. After entering the station, they asked about whether or not there had been any inquiries in regards to lost property. Yes, there was an inquiry. The wallet seems to match the description we received too. May I ask when the inquiry was made? I believe it was this morning. A young lady came along in panic, claiming that she was at complete loss about her wallet and its contents. From what I could tell, she seems to have been traveling alone too. I get why she would be in panic then. Did she say anything else that could lead us to her? She mentioned something about returning to the inn to do a thorough check, if I recall correctly. It's the Werecock right down the street. You can't miss it. How convenient. We happen to be staying there ourselves. Okay, let's go ask Margot. Can't go behind the counter. Hey there, is something the matter? Do you have a moment? There's something we'd like to ask you. Raina explained the situation to Margot and asked if anyone had come along looking for the wallet. Oh, you're looking for Annabelle. Bad timing though, she just left. That's unfortunate. But we have a name now at least, that makes life a lot easier. True, all that's left now is to actually meet with her. She mentioned that she'd be searching at the rest area in the Grand Market next, so you'll want to head there. Make sure you return to her, okay? We will. Let's go. Excuse me, you wouldn't happen to know if a young lady came in here searching for her wallet, would you? She was indeed here a few moments ago, but she's gone now. Do you know where she went then? Unfortunately not. She did mention something about having no choice but to rely on Ideos now, though. Does that help you out at all? I think that there's only one place that could be. Shall we make our way to the church? That seems like our best bet for now. Alright, church is that way. Oh, my Dios, please have mercy on my poor soul. I simply cannot believe this. How am I supposed to live on, having lost all my mirror in a place like this? Looks like we found her. The tragic heroine act made it kind of obvious. Unfortunately, we'll have to interrupt her. Excuse me. Eek! Just who are all of you? Well, you can turn right around if you're planning to rob me. I no longer have any... Please, calm down. We just want to ask you something. Are we correct in assuming you are Annabelle? I am? Aha, thought so. You wouldn't happen to recognize this wallet, would you? That's my wallet. Where did you find it? Well, you see... They returned the lost wallet to Annabelle and explained the situation to her. Thank you so much. I'm surprised to hear that a merchant from the Grand Market kept it safe for me, however. Kindness remains within people's hearts after all, it would seem. Looks that way, yeah. Regardless, I'm very grateful that you found it for me. Is there any particular amount you'd like in return? You can take half of what's currently in here if you'd like. That's pretty tempting. I don't think we can accept that. Your thanks alone are enough. I see. Well, how about this then? I purchased it as a souvenir at the Grand Market before the Great Wallet search began. Pickard plush. Those little pig-like animals from the Ease series, I believe. I see no reason you can't accept that. In fact, I insist. I hope you find it useful. Haha, thank you. We gratefully accept that. You're very welcome. Thank you again for finding my wallet. So you managed to find the owner after all then? Thank goodness. I really can't thank you enough. I'm glad we could be of help. Please excuse us then. Alright, that's worth 4 AP, I believe. Lost wallet. Now we have to fight another monster. Alright, there's apparently a conversation I can have with the manager about the monster. Ask about quest monster. Excuse us, will you mind giving us some details about the monster you want exterminated? Not at all. The provincial army did say they would handle it, but they don't exactly seem to be in a hurry to do so. That's why we had to request that all of you take care of it instead. My apologies for that. It's perfectly fine. Please don't worry about it. Just what sort of monster is it then? From what I've heard, it seems to be a massive avian monster. It appeared last night, supposedly. Worse still, it's appeared right in the middle of the highway and it's blocking any passage through it. As such, we really do need this to be taken care of quickly. As for a specific location, you'll find it by heading west once you've left town. It apparently situated itself on a stone bridge located on the way to Heimdall. Got it. We'll take care of it as fast as possible. We'll report back once we're done too. Okay, time to fight this thing.
This looks tough. Careful.
Turn.
I guess I have to impede it right off the bat.
There. Right.
Shatter!
I can do this.
Alright. Forte on Laura because hers is about to run out.
Huh?
My turn.
Alright.
Analyzing enemy attack patterns. I've got it.
Behold, my most powerful strike.
Behold!
Radiant blade down!
Ha! Ow!
It's my turn.
Okay. What should I do here?
Let's go.
My turn. All right, let's do this. Understood.
Arts up,
My
alright.
turn.
Breath on this, on here.
Thanks. Right.
Oh, hell no. That's not gonna cut it, is it?
Let's go.
Okay, at least it only hit Reen. I don't have any left to CP right now. Hiya!
Huh?
My turn.
Autumn Leaf then.
There.
My turn.
Okay, good. AT delayed it. See, can any of my crafts reach them?
Keep it up, everyone.
My turn. Shatter!
Shatter!
Off guard.
Hiya!
I can do this.
Too far away. Better just stick with fire! A critical fire as well!
Here we go.
Autumn Leaf Cutter. Hiya! Finish him! Yes! Beautiful!
Your swordsmanship gets better with every battle.
I've got a way to go to get to your level.
I'm glad that I was still able to survive the aerial spell even on Nightmare. And I get another breath quartz for that. Feed the quest monster. I really need more slots on Elliot though, since I really want to be able to have both decent attack and support options in terms of arts. I really need to check out the team's comments on the various quests. Zwordar? More like, wait, its name was seriously Zwordar? Anyway, it's gone now. We should go tell Otto. Hey Otto, we killed that Zwordar thing. Oh ho, I see you've taken care of that monster. I really can't thank you enough. I'll have to let those who use the highway regularly know right away. Of course, first comes your reward for a job well done. Here, take this. U material times 5. I still feel like I have to save this up for the very last second. Feel kind of bad receiving this. There's no need to. You definitely earned it, and you're definitely gonna need it. Apologies for leaving all the work to you, but good luck with the investigation too. Yeah, I know there are some monsters that can drop it, but still, I really should just save these carefully, so I don't have to go killing rare monsters all the time. I think I can get the next chapter of Red Moon Rose around here. Let's see. I came across a book I finished reading while cleaning the bookshelf. I can't be barred getting rid of it, so here, you can have it. You seem kind of busy right now, but give it a read later once you have the time. Red Moon Rose Chapter 3. Find Lunaria Nature Park, you head west, but like the name implies, it's a pretty deep forest. There's always a chance you might run into monsters inside. It's something that everyone should keep in mind when they go in there. Not that it matters right now, since it's closed for maintenance. I just hope there's a healing point in the park, cause it sounds like it's gonna be a while until it's gonna be quite a long dungeon. Alright, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe.